Coming to our presentation today. As he said, we are team 477. My name is Eric Zinicus.
I'm Kay David. Amanda Menken.
Hassan Masood.
Katie Colley.
And today we'll be telling you how we are rethinking AT&T's cybersecurity training through gamification. So, this semester, we worked specifically with AT&T's Managed Security Services Department, a division of the AT&T Enterprise business. However, as you'll see, our project is actually applicable to all AT&T employees. So for some background about AT&T, they are a multinational telecommunications corporation with coverage in 225 regions around the world. They actually carry over 67 million gigabytes of data for their customers every single day. This huge volume of data and large global presence means there's a lot of risk for AT&T. This is why we really wanted to work on an impactful project. So, one of the biggest challenges in the information industry is the threat of phishing. Phishing is the attempt to acquire sensitive information by masquerading as a trusted entity, typically over email. To give some context around this problem, in the first quarter of 2014, there were over 125,000 unique phishing sites observed. This is a 10.7% increase over the previous quarter. If you can imagine this trend increasing, phishing can soon become a very serious problem. Now, the monetary impact of a successful phishing attack can also be very detrimental to a company. As you can see, the cost to a company for the loss of a single consumer record can be $145 on average, while the cost of the aggregate incidents, the total of an event, can be $3.5 million on average to a company. So this is why we really felt we could have a great impact and help AT&T out. Katie's now going to talk you through some of our ideas.
Thank you, Eric. So now that we understand the industry-wide phishing threat, we want to see how it specifically relates to AT&T. So as it turns out, AT&T already has phishing awareness initiatives. If you can see to your left, this is their character Murray. He appears in all their phishing pamphlets, flyers, and videos. On your right, you can see internal cybersecurity training. This is their annual program, mandatory for all employees, similar to what most companies offer. So we wanted to combine these two components for our project to create our scope. So our scope came to create a streamlined process to assess how well employees retain information from the annual cybersecurity training and then the need for these additional initiatives. So that created the first part of our methodology. The second part of our methodology was to do some research. We started by looking at Kirkpatrick's 4-step training evaluation model. So that assessed how well employees respond to their training. For example, how often, how well do they use their training at a day-to-day basis at their job. The second source of information was industry-wide threat reports, the main one being published by Verizon. So this had information from 50 different companies and talked about current data breach trends. The third source of research that we had was from industry white papers on gamification. So this taught us the mechanics of gamifying learning, for example, rewards, incentives, and the competition. So I'm going to hand it off to Hassan now to talk about the quantitative part of our methodology.
Thanks, Kate. Okay, so we moved on to interviews with 21 different AT&T employees. We were trying to understand the perception that they have towards the cybersecurity training. And one thing that we were kind of impressed by was the idea that even though AT&T employees that have been there for year after year, we would expect them to be getting more confident in their ability to intercept and understand phishing emails. We saw that the confidence rating was sort of scattered and it wasn't a good predictor. So then we wanted to explore this idea further and we moved on and we conducted a survey. And in the survey, we received 181 different responses. Some of the things that we found kind of interesting from the survey was the fact that whereas you would expect AT&T employees to be applying the training that they've learned on a daily basis to protect against phishing, we saw that only 32% were perceiving it as something that they were doing on a daily basis. Another thing that was kind of interesting was the fact that employees wanted more customized and shorter and more frequent training. So this guided our direction as we move forward, and Amanda's going to talk to you now a little bit about how this affected us. Thanks.
Thanks, Hassan. So here are 3 recommendations for how AT&T can better evaluate their cybersecurity training program as first, we recommend that AT&T double the frequency of their training. This will double the number of opportunities for AT&T to assess employee learning and for AT&T employees to reinforce important topics. Second, we developed a platform, a mobile platform for AT&T to implement. So we designed this platform so that it would be easy for AT&T employees to access cybersecurity training materials. When AT&T employees log into this platform and use the variety of applications available, it will be linked to their AT&T ID. The fact that there's this link allows AT&T to better monitor how many employees are using the applications, and by using the employee performance scores, they can see how well the employees are doing and how well they are retaining the information. Lastly, we applied our research on gamification into the design and integration of our application. For example, we decided to incorporate leaderboards into the design of our application to allow for competition within the organization. We also decided to incentivize training with rewards. And these rewards could range anywhere from exemption from one of the biannual trainings, or for departments that performed well, there would be different team bonding activities or events. So now Kay is going to walk you through the design of our application.
Thanks, Amanda. So as Amanda said, I'm going to be walking you through our design, but just so you know, we took games from the top charts of the iStore and incorporated their main attractions into our own design. So starting off with the loading screen where it greets the employees. And once the load has been completed, the employees enter their ID specific to AT&T along with their passwords. Upon completing this, they're greeted by a home screen that has a variety of options that we've given to the employees to explore the settings, games, history, etc. But we're going to focus on the games for this presentation. Going into it, once after clicking on games, you can see the highlights of what they've played in the past, their top favorites, and recommendations we've made for them based off of previous trainings. But we're going to be focusing on the phishing training. So going into it, they're going to be presented with an email, and they're going to have all the content they need in order to decide whether this is a phishing email or not. So if they choose incorrectly, they're going to get a notification that it's not right, and why they got it wrong, and what they should be focusing on in the future in order to be able to identify a phishing email. But when they do get it correct, they're praised and told that they got it correct, and it's essentially why they did. See, they got it correct. So another aspect of our design is that we have a scoreboard, both among friends, departments, and just the different locations of the offices. And this allows for competition among employees in order to compare where they are compared to their friends, other departments, and just general different city locations of offices. This will increase competition and hopefully create the employees' desire to learn more about phishing training. So eventually they log out and hopefully they'll log back in. So we would like to take this moment to thank AT&T for all their help along with the Quest community and open the floor for any questions.
So dealing with large company like AT&T that has so many employees with so many different backgrounds, how did you make sure your solution really appeal to a wide variety of people?
Okay, so so the question is, with such a wide range of employees, how to make sure that most employees want to play this game or use the game. So we really focused on this in our survey. In our interviews, we had 181 responses and we did 21 surveys, or excuse me, we did 21 interviews and then we got 108 responses from the survey. So we realized that employees at AT&T range in all ages and have been with the company for varying years. So we wanted to make it really user-friendly for everyone. For our specific phishing game, we have two options, so it's yes or no, really simple. In addition, we took features from top chart games and implemented them into our game.
How does this game compare to other training initiatives that AT&T has?
So actually at AT&T, this is actually something we looked into. So there are a couple different things. As you can see, this is our strategy canvas, and basically what this lets us do to other offerings. So if you look at the top bar on the top left, that is our app design. And then going down, that is AT&T's phishing awareness initiatives. And then the last one, the orange one, is actually the annual training. So we looked at a bunch of categories. I think 3 of the most important ones were probably competition. So with annual training, everyone does it, and then you're done. With our app, you can actually compare yourself to your friends, to your department, and that kind of creates incentives for you to do better than your peers. One of the other things we really wanted to improve on was sort of the time commitment. So when you're assigned annual training and it's due, you have a week to complete it and you might have to sit down for 2 hours. But with our design, you can actually quickly open your iPhone, your Android, whatever, when you're commuting to work, if you've got free time, and actually get better at your training. And I think the last factor that was really important to us was, along with kind of competition, status and awards. So with this training, it would be possible to, for example, take the highest, someone who gets 99, 100% of the training, and actually kind of, show that around the company so people have someone to sort of look up to. But in addition to that, we could provide them with rewards. So maybe their team would get some sort of team bonding exercise or other things to motivate them. Yep.
Great presentation, guys. I think it's a great idea. I just have a couple of questions about measurements as far as measuring your success, right? So I see a couple of different levels. The first is kind of completion, how to complete it, the success rate in that sense. But a little bit deeper into it, looking at satisfaction among employees. So how much success are they with the new method, being method as opposed to the previous method. And the third, from the deepest level, is how much do they actually understand and learn. And I just want to take us measure that portion of it.
So, kind of going into this, if I can find the slide, that was some of the data that we wanted to gather about their current training. So, based on how well they understood their current training, or how enjoyable it was, or how engaging, we wanted to base something that could, I guess, do better than that. So I guess our app is really pretty simplistic. You've got completion, and then you can tell sort of someone's average score over time to infer some things that way. But we probably need to develop some more complicated apps instead of just a yes or no that can actually really delve into the nitty-gritty of it. Great, thank you guys.